on YouTube. June 15th today. Gonna give you guys a quick little tour of what the food forest is looking like, how things are progressing along. Here's the old entrance to the garden before we expanded it so much. The grapes we've trained as basically walls going up here. Then we'll trace them over top our head to make this a nice shaded area. I'm on the west side of the greenhouse. Grapes over there are doing real well. Tomatoes and stuff are starting to really blow up with this hot, dry weather we've had. This gooseberry I just put in this year, a welcome gooseberry I believe it is. Really doing well. It's got a lot of gooseberries on it. Especially for a first year plant. Got high expectations for this one in the future. Tomatoes looking good. Zucchini is getting a lot bigger. Cucumbers along the fence doing real well. Got a couple raspberries from the yellow and raspberry right there. It's real good. They're very sweet. Tomatoes, training up. They're growing quick. There's the Concord Grape in here. It doesn't have as many grapes as last year. Last year it really had a lot of grapes on it, so I guess it's kind of taking a little off this year, taking a little break, and next year I'm sure it'll produce heavy. Still got to come through and train a lot of these more vines going this way. It's just hard to keep up with it. It grows so quick. Strawberries are taking a hit from the heat. A lot of the cilantro has started all seeding, so we're getting a lot of pollinators in here. They love the cilantro. These kind of umbrellica flowers that are shaped like umbrellas at the top, always bring in a lot of pollinators and beneficial insects. The almond tree's doing well. Blackberries, grapes back here. This section is doing great back here with the tomatoes and the edge, the beans and the cucumbers. Some tomatoes on some of the plants. Some tomatoes there. Some back there. Goji in the back is growing well. Brassica is this starting to head up. This cabbage. It's pretty good. Peaches are doing, some of the peach trees are doing well. This cherry tree is just huge. See all the birds just fly out of it. I don't know if you did. The birds love it. They're always hanging out in there. And we got that big mulberry up there. 2 of them. With white fruit and with red fruit. So the birds, they love it here. No pesticides, no chemicals or anything. Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many birds are in the yard at all times. And you know, everywhere basil, eggplant, peppers, tomatoes, raspberries, even a small section like this. Raspberries, tomatoes, rhubarb, more tomatoes. Here's a zucchini that came up on its own. This one's the furthest along. It's beautiful. It's already got some zucchinis on it. Way before any of the ones that I planted. The raspberry patch is doing real well. Got some all different kinds of tomatoes this year. This one's called Indigo Cream. It's like a cherry tomato. Looks like it's doing like a purple artisan-like cherry tomato. And the Montmorency's got a bunch of cherries. We've been eating cherries. They're delicious. It says it's sour cherry, but I mean, they're so good just fresh just like this. Real good. There's the apricot that dropped its fruit. If I can get some next year, if I don't get a late frost or something, I think this could produce some good fruit. I got another apricot in the back. Here I've planted the peppers in more of a sandy soil. They look like they're doing well. And then I have amaranth all coming up because I had grown that one year. Let it go to seed and harvested a lot of the seed, so it's really coming up thick here. I'm not going to grow that again, but I'm just going to let the leaves get a little bigger so I could just pull them out and give them to the chickens. I haven't seen if the chickens actually like them yet, the amaranth leaves, but regardless, they'll scratch them up and it'll compost down in their pen. More of the stuff in here is doing well. Everywhere you see a stake, there's a tomato. So, you know, I've got at least 100 tomatoes. And everywhere you step, there's an eggplant or something, or a pepper. Some of the eggplants started to really set their leaves in, doing well. This one looks like it's doing alright. So I'll show you, here's zucchinis. I don't know how you guys are with plant identification, and maybe it's hard to see, but everything in here is edible, or, you know, it's all by design, everything in here. There's not any real weeds in here. Moonglow pears are doing great. Locally we grow pears. Pears seem to grow the best locally around here. They really just do well. They're always reliable. I've seen them growing just wild. People, you know, planted pear trees years ago and they're just still growing wild, producing well. This peach tree is getting hit pretty bad with leaf curl. This is, before I knew much about fruit trees, I planted this one, and this one is known to be highly susceptible with leaf curl, which is terrible in our area. There may be something that comes out in the future, but we'll see if we can get a harvest from it this year. Rainier Cherries doing well. These are just sunflowers came up on their own. Here's a nice little spot. We got all raspberries here growing with the grapes. Some of these grapes are getting pretty big. Tomatoes over here are really getting large. This is the sunniest spot in the yard we have. This is the south facing side of the greenhouse. Some of these tomatoes are looking real healthy. Good size. You got grapes here to train up in front of the greenhouse, provide some summer shade. There's the new black tartarian cherry. Look at all this is blowing me away. I wonder if it's going to be able to hold all these grapes. There's so many grapes on this grapevine. And this is growing on the south side to shade the greenhouse. And I'll grow them over top onto the roof. Cucumbers are still coming up in front of there. More tomatoes. The purple cauliflower hasn't head up yet. Here's one of the eggplants that kind of set its roots in. You can see these are like the ones that when I transplanted this size they were, and now it's really set its roots in the ground and it's putting out some beautiful leaves. A lot of basil. All California poppy that's self-seeded. Mixed through, I got things like there's eggplant right there. Tomatoes where all the stakes are. Pepper in the middle. Some dill that's self-seeded. Zucchini back there. Cosmos that's self-seeded. Planted some echinacea, purple coneflower, grew that from seed. So things are doing real well. Happy with the progression. This Asian pears, holding a bunch of pears. Love to get some Asian pears, I love them. They're so delicious. Got some of them have decent sized tomatoes on them. Here's one of the soldaki tomatoes, this ribbed beefsteak. We get some of those this year. That's basically it. I just wanted to show you guys how things are doing, kind of on a week-to-week basis. More zucchini coming up everywhere underneath. We usually do relatively well with the zucchini. So that's about it. I got some other videos I'm working on now. Pruning the blackberries, showing how I'm staking the tomatoes. So that'll be coming out real soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Give it a like, and if you think it's something that'll inspire somebody, maybe give it a share. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And there's also, this is only some of it. I still got my side gardens, which are doing beautiful this year. There's the apple tree from seed to close it out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following along. James Prigioni. Peace out.